Hey, I'm Tom, and this is TRBCollectibles, where I go to yard sales, estate sales, and thrift stores. I buy items for a low price and then resell them on eBay for a decent profit. This week, I actually wanted to show you some of my recent sales. And the first one that I wanted to share with you, that I'll put somewhere on the screen, are a vintage motorcycle magazines. Now, the specific item was 1997 Cycle World magazines. I believe I had a set of 12 of them, so I had an entire year. The backstory on this. I knew nothing about magazines. I know nothing about motorcycles. I knew a lot about the 90s. That's pretty much all I knew. But I actually went to this yard sale months and months and months ago, and I was looking through the used electronics, because that's where my specialty is as far as knowing more than any other category. And I looked at all these different magazines, and I noticed that there was a lot of them, like a lot, complete years. And I thought, well, I might as well dive in. I asked them, well, how much are you looking for the magazines? They go, you're actually interested in the magazines? And I go, yeah. They go, now, as a side note, there was something like 300 magazines. Like, it was a lot. Like, I filled my entire vehicle with these magazines. They're like, if you're getting rid of them, if you're taking them all, we'll give it to you for 20 bucks. And I go, oh, is it $20 a box? He goes, no, $20 for all like 300 something magazines. And I go, that's a deal. And they literally had to help me load my vehicle. That's how many there were, all the way to the roof of my car, all 3 seats filled, and my trunk. And I come home, and as I showed you, I sold that Cycle World. I sold that box specifically for $30 plus $15.50 shipping based on the weight of magazines, and you can't ship them media mail because they contain advertising. I ship them in a medium flat rate box because they fit and the weight ships cheaper than shipping them regularly. I have been selling year after year worth of motorcycle magazines for the last couple months. I have more than like 10 times the $20 investment into these magazines. It's just the space that the magazines take up, but slowly but surely, it's bread and butter. I'm selling those magazines. The second item that I wanted to share with you, I'll post it again somewhere on the screen, a Fort Myers baseball hat. It's a new era hat. I knew nothing about it, but I know hats are collectible and people like to wear them, and I knew nothing about this team. All I knew is that it wasn't a professional major league team. It was a minor league team. And I used the Google Lens. If you're not familiar, do a Google search, or I'll cover it in a future video, of you take an image of what you're looking at, and it uses imagery to match your item. And I found that it was a AAA team, or a AA team, in the minors. So I listed my hat at $29, and I sold a hat at $26 best offer, and they paid $8.50 shipping at a 1 pound rate because it fits in the box, and I put the hat in a poly mailer so it doesn't get destroyed in shipping. And they paid the full price for that hat. And the best part about that minor league hat that I bought originally, it was a bunch of like 8 or 9 of them, and that was just the first one that I listed recently. So I have gotten offers on the other hats, and now I've learned with minor league teams, there actually might be more collectible than the majors, which is really interesting, and that's something to be on the lookout for. The third item that I sold is something that you've seen before in one of my previous videos, and I always mention it. I sold a remote. Yeah, one of those Duraflame Fireplace Remotes. Not that I have it in my hand. So it was at the end of that sale, the independent estate sale.
Paloma, ¿esto pesa mucho?
Sí, papito, con cuidado.
Ya vengo entonces por eso.
Ok. Es como barato, como una pesa 51.
Ah,
Está bien, gracias.
Nosotros estamos en 200.
Pero hace tiempo que tenía.
Desde el 2005.
Wow.
sí.
Oh, yo creo que ustedes fueron que una vez encontraron a mi perrita, ¿no?
No sé.
How much for your remote?
That I picked it up for $1, and I went ahead and I sold it for $40 plus $5.65 first class shipping. I will always pick up Fireplace Remotes. They will always sell because people either lose them or break them, and they are hard to come by. They don't make universal fireplace remotes, so you have to buy the original manufacturer's remote. So I was very happy with that one. The next one I bought, I actually picked it up really inexpensively at a thrift store a while back. It was an Olympus Camera. The Olympus Camera that I picked up, The guy said at the store they don't have the charger for the battery, so I actually couldn't test it in the store. So since I couldn't test it, he gave it to me for $10. I said, cool, no problem. I went ahead and I got home. I went on eBay. Well, actually, I went on Google, searched the camera, searched the charger that I needed. Then I went on eBay, searched the charger, found an off-brand that had good reviews, bought it, got it, put the battery in that was in the camera that was dead in the charger, charged it up for about 2 hours, put it in the camera, boom. It worked flawlessly, it worked really well. I went ahead and I listed it, and it just sold for $99.99 plus $15.20 shipping. All told, I really probably had maybe 20 bucks into this camera, and I walked away a true winner. So never be afraid to buy something that doesn't have the battery or doesn't have what it needs, because you can always buy its spare or its other parts online to make sure that you can make it a whole. I also made sure in my description that I told them that the charger was not original, but new off-brand. So they knew that they were getting a new charger, and it could test the camera because I showed photos of the camera on. The last item that I wanted to share with you is something that I have been selling almost every day for the past couple months, and that's cross-stitch patterns. Cross-stitch patterns for me are my bread and butter. Every day I will sell cross-stitch, and for every cross-stitch I purchased, and I purchased a couple hundred of them, I went bananas with this stuff. I don't know what I was thinking, but you know what? It was so inexpensive that I actually made my money back within the first 3 or 4 sales of actually buying it. You're gonna see on the screen somewhere the dimensions all burned out. I believe it's a bunch of cats in front of a fireplace. I purchased this for $0.25, and I went ahead and I sold it for $34.99 best offer plus $5.20 shipping first class. And all I did was take this cross stitch pattern, I slipped it into a poly mail bag, sealed it, put a little tape on it, put the label on it, sent it out, and it got to my buyers. And I've been doing this with a bunch of different cross stitch over the course of time. It's my bread and butter, and this allows me to search for other items because I know I'm gonna have a fallback because it sells consistently over time. These were the highlights of my recent sales on eBay, which I was really excited about and I wanted to share with you. I never pass up a remote. Never fear a category that you have no idea about, because it could potentially turn into a profitable situation in case the magazines, because they just literally wanted them gone. And at the end of the day, if I can't sell the magazines, I'll go ahead and just donate them or give them to someone that enjoys it. The camera is a no-brainer. It was a great camera, and all I needed was the charger. The remote, I'm going to tell you every single video, please pick up the remotes. The remotes are the most important part of anything because people don't want to go up and actually push the button on the machine. They want to do it remotely. See what I did there? And then the dimensions is something that's easy, it's quick, and you can get it out the door really fast. If you had any questions or comments about today's video, please be sure to leave them down below, but also go ahead and share your recent sales in the comments. Let me know what you sold and what's your bread and butter and what you love to sell. Also, if you have any friends that are interested in learning about making a little extra money or just interested in the idea of selling the stuff that you have, be sure to share their video with them. And also, be sure to click that subscribe button and that bell notification, because I'd really appreciate it. As always, my name's Tom, and this has been TRB Collectibles.